This Town of Adams Board of Selectmen's meeting is now in session, Wednesday, June 29th, 2022. Would everyone please stand and join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes, June 15th, 2022. What is the board's pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I'll go ahead and make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as submitted for the June 15, 2022 Board of Selectmen meeting.
Motion to approve by Christine. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Joe seconds. Any discussion, questions, omissions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Abstain.
Good job, Isaiah.
Okay. Next, public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the board with anything that's not on this evening's agenda?
That would be me.
Okay, could you please state your name?
I'm Lisa Mundell, and I own property at 1 East 26th Street. And I've been working to get the property that I own cleaned up and the property that is next to me cleaned up. There are 9 junk cars that are not registered or insured. They've been there since 2009. I'm trying to get those cleaned up. I have not been having very good luck with that, but when John came in tonight, he told me that it's going to be taken care of next week. The other issue is the state of the convenience store, and there's pictures of that as well. That's really quite a hazard. There's holes there, there's Tyvek. It's been like that for years, and I'm hoping that the board, I can do something about that. I found out that it was a town grant that paid for it, and clearly it just hasn't been completed. And now that my building is cleaned up, I'm trying to work on cleaning the rest of the corner up.
Okay, I'd like to defer to the town administrator in regards to the old convenience store.
I don't know much about it, Lisa. I do know that Mr. Garner is working on it. I do know that he has a challenging relationship with the property owners about forcing compliance with it. Mr. Garner usually tries to have people voluntarily comply before orders are made. We've chatted about the vehicles. The vehicles are certainly a challenging situation, but we're pretty confident now it's actually town property. And I know that the chief is standing behind you. He's been brought into the issue as well. He's familiar with it as well. So I'll speak with Mr. Garner. I'll try to have the office call you back. I don't know enough specifics about it in terms of where he is with any orders or anything such as that.
Okay, well, I've been working on this and spoke to him back in November when I needed to put the sign on my building. I've also written him a letter as of March 17th. His answer to me is, I'm working on it. I just cannot get, there's ordinances in town about junk vehicles, but I just can't seem to get anybody other than Mr. Rosenthal has been working a lot to help me take care of this, and I just feel that it just gets bounced to the next month and the next month, and it just continues to look terrible.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Chairman, defer some time. Chief Kelly is willing to speak.
Sure, chief, come up to
I
the
just wanted to address the junk vehicles. That will come to a conclusion on Tuesday. I spoke with Jerry this morning, and that's the way I'm gonna put it. It will come to a conclusion on Tuesday.
Okay.
Because we've got our ducks in a row, at least as far as the vehicles.
Okay.
And I'm sure he'll be out there on Tuesday as well with the chief, Lisa, so I'll make sure that he knows that you appeared tonight.
Okay.
And have a conversation and give you a little bit more details in terms of like what that process is,
Okay.
why it may be taking so long, et cetera.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'd like to recommend that the board agrees to have as an agenda item on the second meeting in July, which I'm not sure of the date.
July 20th.
Thank you. An agenda item to discuss your concerns. So if your concerns are taken care of by then, we can just not speak to it, or if not, can you make hopefully you can make the next meeting, and we'll have a status.
Thank you.
Okay, let's make sure action is taken. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, through the chair.
Sure.
I'd like to say what I don't understand
what has happened to where the tieback is across the building. I remember when the convenience store itself was demolished, there was a promise made by our town to fix the front of the building. That was one of the, and I believe there was money appropriated for that facade work to get that up to date through the facade program. You talked to Don about it because she was spearheading that. And that was one of the issues when they took it down, and they were going to have it sided down. I don't know what happened to it, but I certainly recollect that.
Well, the demolition took place while I was here early on, so that was 2019, and we haven't had a facade program from CDBG at least 3 or 4 years before that, so we'll check with her and find out.
Please speak to her about it, because that was one of the stipulations, regardless if there was a facade program or not. So I hope there's some clarification, and I understand it certainly looks unsightly there.
Okay? Anyone else in the audience who would like to address the board? Okay. Hearing none, moving on to old business. The first item is an application for common vic license, Red's Viking Pub, LLC, 83 Commercial Street, Adams. I'd like to hand this over to Christine.
Sure. So at our last meeting, these licenses were not ready to move forward, so the board did table them. Howard had made the motion and Joe had seconded it, but I do need a motion and a second to put it back on the table now that we have the paperwork in front of us.
So moved.
Motion by Joe, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Christine, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous?
So Red's Viking Pub, operating at 83 Commercial Street, is applying for a common vic license, as well as the weekly entertainment license. This is for the pool tables, as well as Sunday entertainment, and I think that was it, in the televisions. So the information is in front of you. They will be operating Red's Viking Pub as the Viking Pub had been operating in the past. So these are just pretty straightforward licenses. And the board got to meet Bill Sweeney and Kristen Fedoroff at the last meeting. I don't think Kristen's here. Bill had mentioned that he would not be able to attend.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
I will make a motion to approve the application for a common vic license for Red's Viking Pub LLC, operating at 83 Commercial Street here in Adams.
Motion by Christine, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rick. Any discussion?
Just a question, Chairman Duval.
Yep.
Did Attorney St. John, our town council, look these over?
Did he have those?
He typically does not look over these,
Okay.
just the alcohol licenses.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous. Next.
I'd like to
Go
make a motion for the application for a weekly entertainment license and a Sunday entertainment license for Red's Viking Pub LLC, operating at 83 Commercial Street here in Adams.
We have a motion by Christine. Do we have a second?
You said for a weekly and Sunday?
Yes, they're both in our packet.
But if not on the agenda, we're not able to vote on it.
So then I can amend my motion to just approve the weekly entertainment license for Red's Viking Pub LLC, operating at 83 Commercial Street in Adams.
We have a motion by Christine. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rick. Any further discussion?
Just a request to move the Sunday entertainment license for Red's Viking Pub to the July 20th meeting.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, none, that's unanimous. Okay, next we have ratification of Brianna Hampman. Or
No,
this one?
we have two more applications under new business.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So we're on B, right?
6A and B.
New business A, application for weekly entertainment license for 17 Commercial Street Restaurant and Inn LLC.
Yes, I jumped ahead. So new business now, old business is complete. New business, application for weekly entertainment license for 17 Commercial Street Restaurant and Inn LLC. Christine.
So at our last meeting, Ken D. Dominici, who is the owner of 17 Commercial Street Restaurant and Inn, doing business as Adams Tavern and Inn, he mentioned to us that he would be operating at the same as what the Haflinger House has been operating at, and would be coming forward with a weekly entertainment license and Sunday entertainment license application. That is what is in front of the board this evening. Ken did say that he apologizes, but he was not able to make it to tonight's meeting, but hoped that he addressed all of the board's questions at last meeting. And with that, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the application for a weekly entertainment license for 17 Commercial Street Restaurant and Inn LLC, operating at 17 Commercial Street and doing business as Adams Tavern and Inn. Sorry, it's a mouthful.
Get as bad as I am. We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rick. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous.
And with that, I will make a motion to approve the application for a Sunday entertainment license for 17 Commercial Street Restaurant and Inn LLC, operating at 17 Commercial Street, doing business as Adams Tavern and Inn.
Motion by Christine. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rick. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous. Now, 6C, ratification of Brianna Bree Hammond, I hope I'm saying that correctly, as Administrative Assistant 3, Office of Town Administrator and Select Board. Jay?
So as everybody knows, Deb Dunlap left us for new grander horizons a little while ago. We did an interview pool. We received 4 applications. We did the rounds of interviews, and Ms. Hampman was selected as the candidate. And before you this evening, you have a letter from me requesting ratification of my appointment to her to that position.
Okay, and I'll read that letter. Dear Board, this letter is to advise the Select Board that Ms. Brianna Bree Hetman has been appointed to the position of Administrative Assistant 3 in the Office of the Town Administrator and Select Board. As provided in Section 10 of the Town Charter, I am pleased to present Ms. Hampman for your ratification this evening. Ms. Hampman holds a BA in History and Political Science with a minor in Environmental Studies from St. Michael's College in Colchester, Vermont. Most recently, she has been the Office Coordinator for the Northern Berkshire Community Coalition, NBCC, performing identical administrative, organizational, planning, communication, and other relevant duties. During her interview, Ms. Hampman demonstrated not only the skills needed to be successful in this position, but also the mix of demeanor, sense of humor, and patience that will be required. In addition to her responsibilities at NBCC, she also has experience with basic human resource functions, accounting, and event planning. Beyond her employment experience, Ms. Hampman contributes to several local nonprofit organizations in leadership roles. She worked with several town officials, helping manage the Northern Berkshire Regional Vaccination Clinics during 2021, and saw the positive impact that local government can have on a community and desires to contribute to Adams' growth as a member of its town staff. Once ratified and contingent upon successfully passing and completing any hiring requirements of the town of Adams, Ms. Hampman will begin her employment on or about July 11th at grade 8, step 5, which is $46,114 annual. What is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I will go ahead and make a motion to ratify the appointment of Brianna Hampman, AKA Bree, according to the letter, as the Administrative Assistant 3 in the Office of the Town Administrator and Select Board at the grade 8, step 5 level at $46,114 as an annual salary.
Motion by Christine, do we have a second?
I'll second.
I'm not going to put you on the spot. Is there anything you'd like to say, or you good? We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would just like to say, I was happy to see this appointment come through. I've had the pleasure to work with Bree through her work at the Community Coalition. You've been a wonderful resource for this community through your work there at the Coalition. And I didn't actually know that your name was Brianna until this letter came through. But Bree was also a key individual in all of the vaccination clinics, greeting everybody who came through the doors, and also helping to organize the front of the house for all of those clinics. And I was really impressed with your organizational skills. So I think that you'll be a fantastic addition to this team.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, none, unanimous. Welcome.
Thank you very much, I'm excited.
Great. Next on the agenda is ratification of Michael Strizzi, Patrol Officer, Adams Police Department. Chief Kelly?
Come on up, Mike, right there, right next to that podium. Don't hide in the shadows. There you go. All right.
It's all yours, Chief.
Hello again. We just saw each other. So you have the letter. I'll read it if you like. Okay. My apologies. Someone get my glasses, please.
I'm not saying anything.
Me either.
I didn't use
I know better.
Yeah. Board of Selectmen, everyone, Administrator Green, I bring before you Michael Strizzi to be ratified for the position of police officer with the town of Adams and the town of Adams Police Department. Michael is from this area, growing up and going to school in Williamstown. After high school, Michael attended Curry College, where he played varsity baseball. He earned a Bachelor of Arts in Management with a minor in Criminal Justice. After graduation, he returned home to follow his passion for public service. Michael went to work with Williamstown Police Department in 2019 as a dispatcher with hopes of becoming a police officer locally. In 2020, with no opportunities here, Bennington, Vermont called. Michael was hired and became a certified police officer in May of 2020. At the time of this letter, he has over 1,200 hours of training given to him through the Vermont Police Academy. His desire to serve the communities he lived in never faded. Through a chance encounter after my arrival, he shared as much. I had the unique ability to get to know Mike and his mother because of my residence at the time. There was no question that I wanted him to be a part of this police department, and that was only solidified after speaking with my officers who knew him. Michael interviewed with us in 2021 and was exceptional. It was shortly after that we learned of Massachusetts' rule for out-of-state exemptions, and that is you must have 2 years in your current state to apply for an exemption with post. He still had a full year to reach that threshold. Out of respect for what he had done already in Vermont, an exemption was the only direction that I wanted to go. So therefore, we wait and hope. As 1 year approached, I started getting calls from him. His desire to come to Adams had not wavered. I applied for his exemption through MPTC and Post and was given a chance to go before the committee. We sat before Post committee in Linfield, and without hesitation, he was given his exemption. Officer Strizzi will need to study and pass 5 tests for exemption. This is another case of the police department creating a culture that draws people to it. The officers we have here will welcome him and assure that he will not fail. Adams Police Department would be honored to have Michael Strizzi join our family and our community. I am pleased to recommend to the town administrator to appoint him as a police officer and respectfully ask the Board of Selectmen to ratify his appointment at the step-through rate of $25.17 per hour, consistent with our collective bargaining agreement.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Jay?
So I just want to thank everybody in the chief for going through this. We're kind of pleased tonight that with Mike's addition to the department, we're back up to full staff, which I know all the other officers who are here to support him will be happy to hear. And I also want to just, it's getting hard to find folks that want to protect and serve the public these days. We had, Chief, you reached out quite a wide net last time around. We had a few candidates. We interviewed one panel. You remember Officer Banks, who was put in front of you for ratification. So he's pending academy training in October. However, with the 6 months of the police academy and then approximately 90 days worth of field officer training, assuming all goes well, it takes a while to have an officer be able to work on their own and handle a shift. With Officer Struzzi already having completed a municipal academy in Vermont and having 2 years of experience under his belt, I think it says a lot about him that the MPTC issued that waiver. Both he and the chief drove all the way out to Linfield, to the eastern part of the state, for what was a 10-minute presentation, if that,
Over half an hour.
in order to do that. But that also says, I think that sends an important message out there from Adams as well, that we are serious about this. So we're pleased to have Mike, and I'm pleased to report tonight that with that, we're back up to full staff.
And one more thing before I turn it over to the board. I would like to make note of something that has maybe gone undetected or through the cracks. But there's only a handful of us that are older. I've almost got a 5 in front of my age, and there's only a few of us. This department and the people within it is going to be your leadership for years to come. Long after I'm gone, Sergeant Malloy, Wandry, I can't be more happy to say that this department is going to be the leadership of Adams for quite some time. And that is the culture I want to build, and I believe everyone behind me and everyone who works for the police department feels the same way. We have a lot of great thinkers in this police department, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions, comments from the board?
I did have a question just about the training. So it's a full year of training, and maybe your training officer can speak to this, but what will be the local training in addition to the...
So, in general, so just to speak on the post requirements,
Yep.
there will be 5 tests that need to be taken, and they will be done through Arcadis, kind of typical to what I did.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting off really easy. I had 11 tests, he'll have 5. I don't know how that works out.
You're a
but
chief
I was a
patrol
chief.
officer, right?
You're south of the Mason-Dixon line.
But he will do that and get his exemption.
Okay.
And after that, he will be in a field, he'll be in an FTO program.
Mhm.
Now, that is dictated, because he's already got experience, that will be dictated by the field training officers. So I can't say whether it will be 2 months, 6, it will be dictated by his abilities.
Okay, anyone else?
I would just like to congratulate you, and I just have one question. What was your reason for leaving Bennington?
I want to be closer to home.
Okay, that's a good reason.
And Chief, I think you have a very good statement here in your letter to the town administrator. And I quoted, "This is another case of this police department creating a culture that draws people to it. We've been very fortunate to have highly qualified individuals who want to work for the town of Adams Police Department. And we are extremely fortunate that Michael Struzzi has decided to work for Adams. So the community is, the community, the board, we're very excited to have you join our team.
Thank you.
Okay, what is the board's pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to ratify the appointment of Michael Struzzi as patrol officer for the Adams Police Department at a step 3 rate of $25.17 an hour, consistent with collective bargaining agreement.
Motion by Christine, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rick, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, none, unanimous. Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you, board.
Ironically enough, Ms. Hantman, Officer Stant, who's here, Kevin, just wave, and Officer Strizzi all grew up next to each other, ironically enough.
And I failed to mention Kaiser. Trooper Kaiser came here, was here, he's known him for a long time, so I think that says something that he came back here for his ratification.
Very nice.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, all right. All right, Jay, you're gonna have to help me with this one. I know
Is Chad here?
the names, but
It's Wagner.
thank you, Joe.
He was supposed to be here, but I don't think he is. Joe got it.
Joe got it. All right, ratification, next on the agenda, still under new business, ratification of Chad Wagner, Assistant Electrical Inspector, Department of Inspectional Services. And Jay, you have provided us with a letter. There it is. Dear Board, this letter is to advise the Select Board that subject to the Board's ratification, as provided in Section 10 of the Town Charter, Mr. Chad Wagner has been appointed to the position of Assistant Electrical Inspector. The position of Assistant Electrical Inspector has been vacant for a period of time. This position fills in for the primary inspector, Dave Reinmiller, when he is unavailable. Having a primary inspector and an assistant or backup inspector provides business continuity. As Mr. Garner noted in his appointment letter, Mr. Wagner has 32 years of experience in the trade, owned his own business, and has previously served as an electrical inspector for the towns of Savoy and Windsor. Compensation for the position is $45 per inspection. This cost is recovered from the $60 electrical permit fee application. Okay, Jay, anything else to add?
No, this is handled in the normal course. That's how all the inspectors are paid. They're not full-time staff. They're only per diem. Chad may never get a phone call unless Dave does go on vacation periodically. So at least now having an assistant plumbing inspector, wire inspector, and gas inspector, we can continue to offer continuity when any of our primary inspectors are unavailable.
Okay. What is the board's pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I've known Chad for a long time, and I feel a lot more comfortable when I put a person's name forth that I know, so I would like to put the name of Mr. Chad Wagner to be ratified as the Assistant Electrical Inspector, per diem for $45 per inspection, and another caveat, this cost will be recovered from the $60 electrical permit fee application.
Okay. Motion by Joe. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rick. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, none, unanimous. That's it for new business. Next, subcommittee and liaison reports. Anyone have anything to report? Joe?
Yep, I attended, let's see, was it yesterday, the General Government Review Committee meeting. I just sat in. It seems like they're moving along, and soon they'll be reporting to us on certain aspects of their study for our thoughts on them. So I attended that.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Moving on to announcements in good of the order. There's two announcements here. There will be no select board meeting on July 6th because of the holiday, many vacations. The next select board meeting, which is right here, is scheduled for Wednesday, July 20th at 7 o'clock. We'll get back on schedule at the next meeting. Okay, anyone else? Well, let's go through the board. Announcements in good of the order. Christine?
I have a number of them, so bear with me. One, as I mentioned at our last meeting, the town is looking for volunteers to help staff the visitor center for the summer. So if you are interested in a shift of, maybe 2 hours here and there, please call Sarah Fontaine, the Director of the Council on Aging. Sarah is helping to coordinate the volunteers. She can be reached at 743-8333. And we appreciate anybody who's interested. Before our next meeting, we will have both Movies Under the Stars kicking off as well as our Tuesday night concert series. So I would encourage people to attend Movies Under the Stars. Friday, July 8th, the movie will be Sing 2. Location this year is the Adams Visitor Center. This way, the movie will go on rain or shine, so they'll just move that indoors if it is bad weather, but they do hope to have it out on the lawn. And then the second movie of the summer will be Up on July 22nd. The concert series does start on Tuesday, July 12th with Rev Tour Band. And then on July 19th, it's Jack Waldham's Man Dance Band. I think I have them all. There is more information on the town's website. There's also an Adams Events Facebook page where you can find that information, and you'll find the full list of events. And then I just wanted to make a comment. I have seen an awful lot of programming coming out of the library for this summer. It's exciting programming. I saw that in Tuesdays in June, they were doing some STEAM programming for kids, and I see that there's an awful lot lined up for July and August, and so just kudos to the library staff for all that they're doing. And I think that's it.
Thank you. Rick?
Nothing.
Joe?
Yep, I was able to tag along with Senator Brendan Cretin, who came down. He's joint chair of the Transportation Committee. He himself, along with outgoing Senator Adam Hines, Representative Paul Mark, who is running to replace Adam, and Representative Barrett. Brendan Cretin asked to come out here, and it's a trend that he said is going to happen, that chairmen of boards will be coming out to the Berkshires so that they can learn about the needs that we have here. And once again, I brought this up before, there's a possibility that there'll be money for the stretch along from Bounty Fair south through the state, because there is going to be money appropriated for roads that are state-owned but run by municipalities. So ours falls in that category, so stay tuned.
Okay. All right. That's it. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Rick.
Second.
Second by Christina. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned.